Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, let's see what's going on here. And what's going on is the Ukrainians attacked Crimea with some drones and blew up an oil depot or oil tanker in Crimea. And the result, obviously, is that it caught fire, and now the Russians are calling for the total destruction of Odesa. Now, total destruction could mean, I don't know, a little nuclear weapon or something. So let's see what happened here in this little article. I have two articles, one from Associated Press and the other one I have it from, I think it was Ukrainska Pravda. So let's start with the Associated Press, since they are the best. Alright, so here it is. Associated Press, and this is from an hour ago, the 29th of April 2023. Russian official: Ukrainian drones hit Crimea oil depot. Right there. So let's see what happened. A massive fire erupted at an oil depot in Crimea after it was hit by two of Ukraine's drones, a Russia-appointed official there reported Saturday. The latest in a series of attacks. Mikhail Rozvozeyev, the Moscow-installed government of Sevastopol, a port city in Crimea, posted videos and photos of the blaze on his Telegram channel. He said that the fire at the city's harbor was assigned the highest ranking in terms of how complicated it will be to extinguish. However, he reported that the open blaze had been contained. I read some Russian reports saying that they already extinguished the fire over there. Now, if that's true or not, I don't know. That's per the Russians. Razvozayev said the oil depot was attacked by, and I'm quoting, 2 enemy drones and 4 oil tanks burned down. A third drone was shot down from the sky over Crimea, and one more was deactivated through radio electronic means, according to Crimea's Moscow-appointed government Sergei Aksyonov. Russia's next, they tell us what happened here. So the incident comes the day after Russia fired more than 20 cruise missiles and 2 drones at Ukraine, killing people, all civilians, I have to add, right? Almost all of the people died when 2 missiles slammed into an apartment building in the city of Tralala, 5 children. So this is, they say, okay, Ukraine's military intelligence spokesperson Andriy Yusov told the RBC Ukraine news site on Saturday that the oil depot fire was, and I'm quoting, God's punishment. Leave God alone out of this. Don't be freaking still in 2,500 years still there. For the murdered civilians in Uman, including 5 children. God punishment. Yeah, God help us. Why don't you bother to do anything? He's going to do anything for you anyway, right? Again, superstitious people who live in those kind of times. God's punishment. Well, like, okay. Yeah, the locusts are going to come over, or maybe God's spirit is going to fall over the Russians as it fell over the Egyptians, and then we celebrate the killing of children. Jesus Christ, these guys. He said that more than 10 tanks containing oil products of Russia's Black Sea Fleet were destroyed in Sevastopol, but stopped short of acknowledging Ukraine's responsibility for a drone attack. The difference between the murder of tanks Yusov and Rezgozayev gave could not be immediately reconciled. It doesn't really matter if that was reconciled or not. The thing is, they attacked those tankers, and that's it. Legitimate target? Yeah, why not? I mean, you attack my country, I attack your country. That's the way it goes in war. And I claim you hit civilians, and I say that I don't hit civilians, I hit only military targets and oil tanks, whatever they are. So that's the first one. I don't see anything illegal with what these guys did. Which is if it was the Ukrainian, and if it was not the Ukrainians, it was the Americans or the Brits. Who else could be, right? or at least the Ukrainians with the help of, not the help, under the command of NATO. Let's put it straight. That's how it will be revealed after all this thing is going to be over in, I don't know, a year, half of a year, 3 years, never. If never, then they're going to come and tell us straight. I mean, they already tell us how the Ukrainian commanders, generals, they brief their American counterparts, the admiral, the millie. They report to them what's the situation on the front. Yeah, that's, anyway. So that's the first article, and there's no doubt Ukrainians have the capability of doing that, and I'm waiting for them to do something on Moscow. And really in Moscow, that would be, I think, flattening Kiev. I don't know what's going on here. I don't think they will do anything major about this. I'm talking about the Russians. And then that leads me to the second article, where you have some Russians calling for flattening Odesa. Now, I don't know why Odesa, because it's the closest, I'm guessing. And then why flattening Odesa? Because these guys hit some oil depots. Well, I'm not in their skin. I can't tell you. From outside, you know, it's one thing. From inside there, it's a different thing. And if we are to just analyze the situation from historical points of view, there's no Geneva Convention and all those international court and blah blah blah. Those are okay over there. These guys over there, they want to blow up anything they want, and then they pick up the pieces if that would be the case. Because if I win all those how do you call them, accusations will be forgotten. Like, you have too many examples when the victors did things that even the losers did not do, like atomic bombs dropped onto civilian cities, and nobody was indicted, nobody was considered a war criminal, nobody was nothing. Well, it was we needed. So that was the argument. We needed it to do it, and we saved lives by blowing up 2 cities with atomic bombs. All right, but the Russians, if they use the same logic, that's a no. And they didn't so far. So let's go and see the other article, which tells us about the Russian maybe retaliatory strikes. Ukrainska Pravda. Russians call for neutralization of Odesa, end quote, after fire in Sevastopol. Occupying forces in Crimea have called for attacks on Odesa after a fire at an oil depot in Russia next Sevastopol. So the source is Olga Kovitiri, a so-called senator from Crimea. I'm quoting, about the attack by Ukrainian armed forces drone on Sevastopol and the fire at the oil depot in Kozacha Bay. We have no time for slow dancing. What has happened requires appropriate and tough decisions and actions. An oil storage facilities in Odesa must be destroyed. All oil storage facilities in Odesa must be destroyed. A strategic decision to neutralize Odesa as a Ukrainian military base must be made. So she's talking about retaliation on oil, not on people. So here is a little bit, make some big noise. Neutralization. I thought it was, I didn't read the article because I said, oh, okay, these are going to retaliate like crazies. And here it says, no, that's neutralization of military base. That's military, so what? So Kovitidi was a member of Verkhovna Rada of the Autonomous Republic of Crimea from 2006 to 2014, and after the annexation she began to cooperate with the Russians. Since then she had held the position of senator. So this is it. What do you think about action and reaction? And you can go back and point fingers. Hey, you did this first. No, because you did this first. No, because you did this. Oh, because they did this first. When we're going to go to 2014, everything goes to the source, and we're going to find out, and not only 2014, that's been in place since a long time, which is NATO expansion and Ukraine being taken into the sphere of influence, Lebensraum of the Americans. So we don't call it that way, only Germans could call it that way, because they are bad people. But the Germans, I'm talking about the Nazis, not the ones right now, because they're beautiful right now, because they're like little dogs. Okay, Germany, you do this. Okay, I'll do that. Here, take some sugar, go now. Poop over there. Someone else is gonna clean up. So, this is it, my friends. We'll see how the Russians retaliate. And they will retaliate. We'll see if they are ready or they're not ready. If they're ready, they're going to retaliate fast. If they're not ready, or maybe they plan a little bit, deeper, they will react a little bit later. But I guarantee you that's going to be 10 times worse than those attacks on those tankers. Good job, or oil fields or oil depot. Good, I don't want to say good job. It's not a good job, but the Ukrainians are able to do this, and they will do this. And where was the Russian air defense? Again, those are drones. Yeah, they did something, but they failed because the attack was completed. And I think it was a success for the Ukrainians and an insuccess for the Russians. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.